gas cylinders and all, right? People are lifting gas cylinders.
But Mama, you're not kind to me. You're not kind to me at all.
It's a gas.
You should have invited me to the mall.
Oh,
you should have
the
invited
River
me to
Jordan
the shopping mall to pick a few things.
Those are gas cylinders and all.
What?
And persons taken from there.
It is no fault of theirs. It is no fault of theirs. Yeah.
We are able to get a bit more as well from the GPRTU as well, because we know that a number of the buses went under. Right, were completely submerged by floodwaters. That immediately has repercussions on public transport.
Absolutely,
and all of that.
But GPRTU has not been pragmatic about their operations.
Oh, this one, if you want to blame them again, will that not be too much? Because they had packed their buses at the station and not moving in the floodwaters, and the entire place was submerged.
It is not just so. Find out where a lot of their bus stations are located.
Flood-prone areas?
Absolutely.
If they take the hand themselves.
GPRTU
that's
needs to meet the assemblies, speak to the ministries, so that they are giving a properly demarcated area for transport, because they are in public service.
Right. Let me come to the studio, Ibrahim, and then Abdul. Quick thoughts. Preliminary thoughts. Right. Know anybody who was affected by the rains and everything that's been playing out in the last 24 hours? Has been very difficult, and we're expecting even more rains now. I'll start with you.
My brother, thank you very much. First of all, let me say a very good morning to our cherished listeners across the metropolis and Ghana in general. Honestly, what happened yesterday, to me, I will describe it as highly unprecedented. Taking aside what happened June 3, 2015, this is one of the serious flooding we have ever witnessed in the metropolis. When this whole thing started, it started raining, because I visited a friend, Kaswa, so I have to move from there as of yesterday coming. When I reached somewhere around High Sense, their Kaswa branch, in fact, the whole building was flooded. Wow. And these included a lot of goods packed in there. Come and see boys rushing and picking fridges, microwave, blenders, anything they can touch on. It took the intervention of the Ghana Police Service to storm the area to ensure that there's order. This is highly, highly unfortunate. And I think that if you want to talk, we'll continue talking every year until it takes someone to be very bold to take a very drastic, decision, regardless of political consequences or otherwise. I think that we should be bold to face this issue head on, and then avoid politicizing the whole thing. Because see, it is actually costing Ghana a lot of money. President Mahama yesterday announced that he will find means and ways to actually compensate those who were actually affected by these floods. But you ask yourself, the monies that will be used to compensate these people, don't you think it could have been channeled to my hometown, Sampa Road, that have not been tapped for close to over 2-3 decades that we have been appealing to the government? So, you see, it's better we drastically deal with this problem and find a long-term solution to the canker than to be dealing with it from the surfaces. The metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, are they working? Are they working? That's the question I'm asking. Because from time immemorial, it appears they're just sitting in the offices doing nothing. That is your responsibility. If President Mahama, is actually talking that he would deal drastically with floods, you don't expect the president himself to be on the ground dealing with the issue. And that is why he appointed you to represent him. Do the job, make sure that you execute his vision. And so if you fail to do that and you just sit back and be collecting bribes like we are hearing and doing things untoward for your own selfish parochial interests, then you don't deserve to be in that office. You don't deserve to be in that office. So it is about time, regardless of the person's status in the party that actually gave him or her the appointment as a metropolitan, municipal, or district chief executive. We need to be bold enough to start firing some of them instead of transferring to serve as deterrent to others. We need to face the issue head on and deal with it mercilessly without any mercy. Yesterday I wept. The chaos all over. Circle here. I mean, people cannot go, people cannot come. This is something that has ever happened somewhere around June 3, 2015. And it appears that tragic incident has not given a sense of any lesson. There were over 150 people who lost their lives somewhere around 2015. I mean, is that what they want? They want it to continue. I think that President Mahama, if you give me the opportunity, I would just let you know the steps he is taking in dealing with this issue and the people he has tasked to deal with the matter. But the fact is, the person is not working as expected.
Right.
We need to fire the person.
Who is that person?
Achulo, I'm gonna Patrice, I'll come to you. I mean, this is gonna be all of us having the conversation. So Abdul,
yes,
your preliminary comment as well in relation to what happened yesterday, and
yes.
I mean, for viewers on Facebook, you'll be seeing some of the aerial views when the president was touring, and some parts in the aftermath of the flooding incident as well. Abdul.
Yes, my brother, thank you very much. You see, whenever we have conversations about flood, I get so much passionate and I get sentimental whenever we are having a conversation around some of these challenges we face as a country. Why do I do that? I get sentimental because I have been a victim of flood before. I remember some 5, 6, 7 years ago when we used to stay in Kaswa, just around Methodist School. When you get there, that was where I grew up. And whenever it rains, we have to leave our homes, go and stay in the school till the water washes away before we get back home and now collect the rest of the waters in the rooms before we can now settle down. So personally, I have encountered some of these things before. So whenever I see people politicize some of these conversations, I get so worried because I think it's a challenge that we all have to put our political lenses aside. We all have to make sure we have a broader conversation about some of these things and make sure whatever solutions we can profess to deal with some of these challenges, we do it. Just yesterday, allegedly, we've had a number of people dying due to some of these phenomena that is happening. I have heard where I stay in
Fire service was telling us 12. At least what they can count, 12.
Kaswa, the Okrudu gutter has killed allegedly 9 people. And I've stayed there before, so I'm not in doubt. I know what that Okrudu gutter specifically can do. Whoever stays in Kaswa knows what I'm talking about. So till when are we going to still have these conversations? I always tell some of my friends that, since this June 3rd disaster happened, as a country, we should have learned from some of these bitter challenges we faced and allow some of these things to propel us to have a lasting solutions to this problem. I get so worried and sad when we still have some of these conversations as of now. Because if you remember some years back in Rwanda when some of these major floods happened, their government took a pragmatic step to make sure they deal with that problem, which saw to a lot of buildings being decongested and making sure they create proper drainage system to resolve some of these issues drastically. So what are we doing as a government? What are we doing as a people? Collectively, we have a responsibility to play. First of all, let's establish that point, that as citizens, we have a responsibility to play. But that notwithstanding, I always argue strongly that the government has a major role to play. We cannot downplay the effort of the government.
Absolutely.
We cannot trivialize some of these conversations when they come up. What is the role of the government? What is the government doing? Today, we are complaining about people building houses at waterlogged areas. Before you can even build a house on a land you've purchased, you need a permit to build that house. If you don't get a permit and you put up that building, it's a criminal offense. So what are we doing? What are the right institutions doing to make sure we fix this problem? I get so sad whenever we come back here, because starting from January, we've been having these conversations times without number. And we are still having this conversation. What is the government doing? What are the pragmatic steps we are making sure we put in place to solve this challenge? The government somewhere last year, I remember in March, formed one of the anti-flood task force. What is the results of that committee? What are they doing? What have they put in place so far? Yesterday, we saw the president in an helicopter going around, supervising whatever is going on, and then getting some glimpse of what we are talking about. He has done same in March, if you remember, when he launched the task force. They did same and told us that they have seen the problems and they are going to fix the problem. So what is keeping them from making sure we deal with the problems? If taking a pragmatic step to deal with this problem will make the government unpopular, I believe they should go ahead and do it. And at the long run, the Ghanaian people will obviously appreciate whatsoever government that makes sure we put pragmatic steps to deal with this issue once and for all. Right. Because the people are suffering. Right.
Abdul, I'll come to you, and there are a number of comments I'm going to read in relation to the subject matter, but I'm going to go over the phone lines right now and speak to Samuel Appiah. He's Deputy Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. That's GPRTU. Joining us on phone, Samuel Amwa. This morning. Ms. Amwa, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on 3FM Sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
I trust that all is well and your members are recovering following yesterday's floods.
Good morning to you once again and your cherished viewers and listeners. Yesterday's flood has affected our members seriously. And yes, some are recovering, some their vehicles are remain at shops. There are some vehicles that need to be towed by tow trucks, to send to their various workshops because most of the vehicles, the engine got damaged. Yesterday, some vehicles that fly Accra, Cape Coast, Accra, Manchester areas. Some of them, the vehicles will load the passengers, and when they get to Kaswa, before Kaswa, they have to return back because there is no way they can cross, to send the passengers to their destinations. So yesterday was a very serious situation for most of our drivers, and I believe we have to find the best way to resolve these issues. Else, our business that we do is individuals that are, gone in for loans to buy vehicles to serve the nation. Government has not given us any vehicles. And when it happens like that, spare parts too are very high. The cost is very high to buy. And when it happens like that, then it means that, most of our members are, are going to be jobless. Some are going to find it very difficult to fix their vehicles. So yesterday, it was a very difficult moment for our members.
In all, do we have an estimation as to the number of vehicles or the number of persons who may have been affected by the floods from the different stations across the capital?
Well, it will be very difficult for us to get an estimated number of vehicles that have been affected. But then, the leadership sent some delegation to go around, most of the stations to find out, how the situation is. We've gotten some, but to get, the estimated vehicles that have been affected will be very difficult on our side right now.
But you're going around to ascertain. I'm sure, as a union, you should be able to find out the number of vehicles or the number of drivers who've been affected and the persons who will be out of a job for a while. Just in case if there's some intervention, you can as well grant that.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. Our union, the national is one body descending to the region, then descending to branch and locals. So all these levels has their executives that manage, the branch and the local. So we have sent a delegation to go around, move the branches down to the locals. There are many. Even in Greater Accra, we are having about 400 and almost 500 branches in Greater Accra. So we are doing that. I believe that before the close of the day, we'll get the data of, members that we think need some serious help, to be given to them. So we are doing that.
Now, in terms of what has played out, what does this mean as well going forward for the availability of buses on the road for the ordinary person who relies on your members to commute to work and back?
Yes. This morning, as I was driving from Tema down to Accra to the office, you see a lot of commuters, being stranded, not getting vehicles to their workplaces, and it's very, very difficult. I said earlier that yes, the government, has given us some promise that they are going to help us with some buses. But as I'm speaking to you, we've not seen that. Yes, they gave some to Ayalolo. Metro Mass. We think that maybe they will be in town, but yes, we don't actually see them. But what we are saying right now is the private sector needs a serious help from the government, because all the vehicles that we have is coming from individuals. Some has gone in for loans, that has loans with very high interest. And if, we are going through this kind of problems, and government will also set without coming to our aid, it will be very, very difficult on our side. Because when the problem comes, they will not blame government, they will blame the GPRTU. Because they will be asking, what is GPRTU doing? Passengers are stranded. Well, how are we going to, take them to their various destinations? And forgetting that it's an individual that has, gone in for loans and buy vehicles to serve the nation and all that. So we are pleading with the government in this situation. The private sector, GPRTU, needs serious help from the government. The promise that they gave us, they should, fulfill the promise so that we can have enough vehicles, strong vehicles to convey our commuters to and fro.
So GPRTU now is asking for external assistance so that we can meet the passenger numbers which are on the road, awaiting us to be able to move.
Yes, seriously, because even before this flood issue, we were having problems with some number of vehicles that are being remain at various workshops because of a high cost of spare parts and all that. We used to say this, and this flood has also, damaged more vehicles and is going to, cause commuters not to get vehicles to their destination. So we are pleading with the government as early as possible to come to our aid, to give us some more vehicles to help save the nation from these passengers getting stranded.
Just finally from me, in terms of how long you can return to full capacity as to your members and all of that, because we know water has entered engines and they will need to drain the water. And in terms of all of the works and when possibly you can see vehicles, if support were to come, you can see vehicles fixed. How long would it take to have all of these issues addressed for members and the likes?
It will be quite difficult. The reason being that, you see, whenever these issues happen, there are, affected people that normally the government will come in to support them. NADMO go in to support some people and all that. But let's ask if government will also assist drivers that have, been affected by all these challenges and problems. As I'm speaking to you, if one's engine got damaged, then it means that that person has to, go for a loan to buy engine and all that. So we are working on it. We are trying what the union can also do to support. We do that. But there are some that will be, beyond our capacity. So we still plead with the government.
But what about insurance? Are the vehicles not insured?
The vehicles, you see, it's not all the vehicles that are comprehensively insured. Some are third party, and most of our vehicles are going in for third party insurance premium. And the third party insurance premium doesn't cover the vehicle in terms of some certain things like this. But if luckily the vehicle is being insured with a comprehensive insurance, then it means that the insurance will come in. But those that have gone in for third party, it will be very, very difficult. Then it means that they have to find the best way to get some money to fix their vehicle.
Right. Ms. Amwa, we'll leave it here. I'm sure we'll talk again, and then we'll get a bit more. That's Samuel Amwa, is Deputy PRO of the GPRTU. I'm going to just read two more comments as well in relation to this particular subject matter, and then I will come back in studio and pick thoughts as to what that means. There's someone who is asking, this one I'll keep it hidden. It's a question about waste management, right? So it's a bit lengthy, but it says, what is our waste management system like in this country, particularly Accra? Case in point, a large household has paid a recognized refuse company to lift its refuse once a week. The company in this rainy season says it cannot lift because the dumping site cannot be accessed because of bad roads. What will that household do now? It's a question.
Yeah.
Then the other part of the message is that some households have now been forced to call the local aboboya to do the lifting because that household cannot live with the refuse.
Right.
Now the question is, do we know where the aboboyas dump the refuse they have picked?
I do.
So even if you set out to do the right thing, the system is set to bring you back to the wrong thing, because the aboboyas go and dump anywhere that they can, which is one of the things, which ends up in our drains.
Yes.
You were talking about a sea of refuse.
No, please. I said there were a group. There were a group of people, like an assembly. No,
you understand. So that's just one message that's come through in relation to waste disposal.
Yes. It all boils down to the assemblies. It is the role of the assembly to ensure that every municipality, every metropolis, every district has a particular place where residents can dump refuse. But you see, we track it back to our use of items. So plastics. Are we supposed to continue using plastics? Otherwise, what it is that what we used to call the incinerator back in the day, where you put everything, it was paper, and then paper and leaves. That is falling leaves, dried leaves from plants, and then you would burn them. But my point is this. There are so many things we are using now that we're not supposed to. The cans and the plastics are things that we have to eliminate. Because back in the day, it was paper and bottles. And bottles, we can crash them, recycle them, and use them for something good. Exactly.
Now the polythene bags and all of that.
So you see, when we track back, you see that there are lots of things that we need not encourage. Otherwise, these are the things that we'll be battling with. It all boils down to the assembly. The assemblies work hand in hand with the EPA. People are swimming in this water. When you come to Gulf City, and this is something that I have spoken to the MCE about, people discharge their waste the moment it starts raining. They connect a pump to their, waste line, and then they just put human extra on the streets. They pump it out from their homes onto the streets because they think that the rainwater is going to carry it away. Little do they know that the water will dry up somewhere, the sun will come, the wind will blow that thing, you'll be walking and you breathe it in. Now you'll be suffering from certain diseases and ailments that, look, the assembly has a very huge role to play, but we downplay it. Because what do? Every political party will carry its members and put them in the assemblies. And these are not qualified people to work at the assemblies because they are the boys who helped you to win the elections. So pack these people there at the assemblies. So the blame goes back to the same NDC and MPP boys and girls. Because these are the people they put there. So these people don't understand anything. With all due respect, look, when you don't have exposure, there are certain decisions that you can't take. When you don't have exposure, there are certain things you can't take. When you're not educated about something, you can't take decisions based on those things.
Right.
So what it is that there are so many people we have in the assemblies who are not cut to be in these assemblies. So when they bypass and they see squatters, maybe they are also squatters. So what do they care about squatters? You get it?
Fair enough. Let me come to Ibrahim and then I'll go to Abdullah as well. Ibrahim, just on that message on waste, before perhaps you also chip in on the transport. You mentioned a sacking possibly of some of the persons who've not been up to task. Why are we not seeing that from your persons? Because, I mean, you're in government.
Yes, very well. Thank you very much. To be very honest with you, I believe that to deal with this issue, we have to look at it and deal with it drastically from a very drastic, point of view, regardless of the political consequences. Because honestly, I know that if we decide to deal with it ruthlessly, it's going to cost, this particular, government. But the way things are going, it's better it will cost us election 2028 than to, just relax and allow things to go the way they are going. We can also not rule out accountability if you want to deal drastically with the issue. Because previously, whether NPP or NDC administration, a lot of monies were pumped to deal with the issue of flooding in Accra. Let me even single out, President Akufo-Addo's era when he was president. In fact, he spent hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis and US dollars on flood mitigation. Yet perennial flooding remains a severe structural issue in Accra, to the extent that look at what happened yesterday. You get it? So I think that we should start asking serious questions. For example, like the 450 million domestic, 450 million that was used between 2017 and 2022 when Akufo-Addo was president to deal with the issue. What was it able to do? And how did we benefit from that 450 million Ghana cedis? The Gary project, $200 million. We spend this and still nothing appears to, be done. We spent close to $42 million on the Odo River dredging, contract and all that. All these monies, I can list them. Where are these monies? So it's about time, first of all, to start asking questions. Those who are in charge, let us, punish them to serve as deterrent to the current occupants of these offices who are occupying or who actually replace them. But if you don't seek accountability, there's no way we'll make any headway. Everyone will just come, the money come, the person chop and go. We should let people be accountable. When we are done, we should go straight to the assemblies. I have already said on several occasions that it appears that the whole place is corrupt, because I've seen a couple of instances where bribery monies have been exchanging hands. If you want to something to be done in the assembly, what you have to do is to just see someone for the person to see the other, and straight away it will be done for you. And that is why we have gotten ourselves to this place. Action is really taken until a catastrophic flood occurs, after which official issue reactive demolition orders that are really sustained. So let us find out those who are there, taking bribes. How can we catch them? What supervisory role should the Ministry for Local Government actually play in ensuring that we actually kick out the bad nuts? Property developers regularly bribe assembly officials to acquire permits or protect unauthorized projects from being demolished. From big men, those with the money, the politicians, the chiefs, those with cash. I mean, we should start it from there. And our attitude as Ghanaian can also not be ruled out. Our attitude. We keep blaming the politicians, we keep blaming our leaders, but our attitude as Ghanaians, I mean, how patriotic are we in contributing, trying to avoid this? I know people I'm a woman around my area. Anytime Bola people come around, she doesn't, bring her Bola out. Because deep in the night, while people are asleep, you see her, carrying the Bola, find somewhere else in the bush and drop them. And when it's rain, it just flash these, bolas and then chalk gutters. What measures are we putting in place in ensuring that some of these people are dealt with? Last week, I was somewhere around Odoko, thereabouts. A woman, after eating kenke inside the car with polythene bag, wrap it and decided to actually, drop it down. And people were in the car. I was so furious that I got there and then confronted the woman. I was the only one. Everyone was silent. I ended up becoming the bad person because I was confronting and questioning the woman why she did that. And she was verbally attacking me. Our attitude as Ghanaians, our attitude also contributes immensely. So it's about 50-50. Politicians have a role to play, and we, the citizens, also have roles to play. And the issue about political will should also be there. If politically we are not willing to deal it, it will all be gimmick. We only, decide to react instead of being proactive. And what we have been seeing all these years are reactive measures, which are temporary measures. If you want to deal with the problem head on, we have to be very proactive, be innovative. When you go to other, countries, I mean, Netherlands, for example, was actually noted as one of the countries in the world that had serious issues with flooding. Today, they are the leading, one of the leading countries across the world when it comes to management of our floods. We can learn from them. How did they do it? What measures was put in place? I mean, they should give us their paw. We should do something about this situation. It's sickening. It is so sickening, and when I decide to talk about it, I become so emotional. What's happening? For how long should this continue? Successive government comes, they go, they come, they go, they come, they go. When monies are given out for people to use in dealing with the issue, it ends up under people's beds and all that. What are we doing as a nation to tackle this issue, regardless of politics and all that, head on? So I am calling on President John Mahama to, as a matter of urgency, if our president want to put some fear in the current occupants of these same, offices where all these monies were spent, but nothing significant is seen, he should start, calling them. I mean, investigations should start. They should produce those money, because I don't know why we should spend these huge monies that could help in development, ending up in purple packets, and we stay quiet as if there's nothing, wrong with that.
Right.
We should be proactive and stop the reactive measures in dealing with this issue.
Abdul, let me come to you as well on the same question and the way forward in terms of what it is. Ibrahim seems to suggest the government ought to crack the whip, ought to have cracked it by now. And I mean, there's a general consensus of a bit of tiredness as well.
Yes, which is very important. I think my brother in his submission said we shouldn't politicize this conversation, which is very, very important. Regardless the fact that they did when they were in opposition, I don't think that is the stance of our party now. If you were privy to the post our flag bearer made, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, was to solidarize with those who are affected and also urge the government institutions to beef up and make sure they protect the citizens. And that is clear statesmanship. That is pure patriotism. Now, this whole conversation we are having, I think with regards to these flood issues, is a very broad conversation. You told us and professed solutions to the Ghanaian people when you were in opposition. If you go to their manifesto, they are laid down pragmatic steps they are going to take to make sure they fix this problem. Today, let's establish the fact that as citizens, we all have a responsibility to play when it comes to these flood issues we are talking about. But that notwithstanding, the major responsibility lies within the bosom of the government. My brother is seated here saying he knows people who are taking bribes and then giving permit to people to put up buildings at where they're not supposed to put up those buildings. What has he done about it? I think this is the time we have to rise up as citizens. This is the time we have to make sure we put the government on its toes. This is the right time we have to look the government in the face and tell them that fix the problem. We are tired of the complaints. We are tired of keeping on telling us what the problems are. We are aware of it, and we know they were aware of the problems. And that is why they profess solutions in their manifesto, which the Ghanaian people believe so much in them and gave them a supermajority. So what are they doing? What are the solutions? They shouldn't come and be telling us the problems we are facing currently. Who doesn't know? Who's not aware of it? Who's not facing it? I was leaving my house yesterday to Parliament to work. We got to Barrier, we couldn't proceed. We couldn't even go back just because of this canker we are facing. And we saw a communique coming from the Interior Minister saying we should return home, or whoever has not left home should stay home. Yes, it's a good, and then it's a good initiative. You have to comment. But the truth of the matter, my brother, the reality on grounds is that the home you are saying we should stay, the floods have raided people's homes. Where are they going to stay again? People are staying on top of their roofs to seek for shelter. So what are we doing about this? Today, when it's about to rain, 70% of our Ghanaian people become worried because they will not have a proper place, they won't have shelter, they won't have a proper place to sleep. And that is concerning. And as a government, these are things we should be thinking about, and these are some of the things that should fuel us up to make sure we deal with this problem. Today, we don't want to see them going around with rice, bag of oils and all that. Fix the problem. Prevent the people from facing some of these challenges. Yes, I'm not saying this flood issue just happened within this current administration, and I'm not saying it's going to be an occasion to deal with this problem. No, it's going to take a gradual and a pragmatic process to deal with this. But that notwithstanding, we have been able to manage it a bit okay. And that is why, under our administration, regardless of the fact that there were some of these floods we cannot run away from, but sometimes you see how it's being managed. So what are we doing as a country? What is the government also doing? This is the second time the president is sitting in a helicopter, parading in the air, doing documentaries and telling us and taking videos and sharing it. We have seen it. We have witnessed it. People have been electrocuted. People are dead. People have lost their lives. People are crying. People are weeping. People have lost their shelters. Today, it will surprise you to know. You see, some of these major investors we are having in this country, my brother, if you go to some of these waterlogged areas, you find out they purchasing some of these lands, getting gravels and stone, and filling it up to put up their buildings over there. Who gave them the permit to do that? Who gave them the permit to do that? As a government, we cannot stop them because they have made certain commitment to us when we were in opposition, when we were campaigning. They have pledged certain commitment. And for that matter, we cannot stop them. And that is the problem. The system is weak. We cannot run away from that. You asked a brilliant question. You read a post, I don't know whether somebody sent to you.
It was a comment someone said.
Yes. So today, if I'm seated in my home, I give my refuse down to some of these tricycle people who are now going around making sure they collect some of these refuse and go and dump it in some of these water bodies. How am I to be blamed? I have done the right thing, but at the long run, what is the impact? The regional minister tells us that she has tackled the flooding issue in this region. And the results we are seeing on grounds is telling us that, Madam Minister, you've not done anything. You've not tackled anything.
Oh, she mentioned that, right?
Yes, in defense of her award, a so-called award. She says she has tackled the flooding issue in this country. And is that what we are seeing?
Oh, wow.
Is that what we are seeing? Is that the results? You find her in some of these water bodies, they're holding their hand like a last born. But all I want to say, and I want to conclude, is that let's have a broader stakeholder engagement. The complaints are way too many. The repetition of what the problems are, I think we are fed up with them. Now it's time for solution. Let's come together, and as citizens, as Ghanaian people, we should also bear in mind that when government is going to make sure we fix this problem, some of us, majority of us, are going to be affected. Let's bear in mind that, let's all admit that some of these challenges will definitely cause pain to some of our people, will cause agony to some of the Ghanaian people. Let's take this bold decision once and for all. Let's hold the bull by the horn and make sure we solve the problems once and for all.
Just give me 30 seconds.
Right, Mawena here.
Oh, no, just 30 seconds.
No, I'm Mawena, not Crosby.
Mawena. Oh, sorry. Forgive me.
Yes, I wanted to go into the phone lines, but 30
I would not
seconds.
belong. You see, I thought we are actually discussing this issue from nationalistic point of view. On this platform, we'll be patriotic and deal with this issue as one people, one nation. But my brother is jumping the gun by politicizing these sensitive matters.
How?
I'm shocked.
How do you do that?
You are claiming that we should fix the problem and it's our responsibility to fix the problem. We gave you 8 good years.
No, now we are getting
Please,
into
no,
we've given you the power.
My brother. We gave you 8 good years. So if you had the ability to have fixed this
You want to
problem
politicize
for
it, you
8
end
years
well.
now. Oh, I'm coming. Just a moment.
No, yeah, I'm having you finish.
For 8 years now, we would have seen this problem repeating itself. So you don't have any moral right. Tell us, the 450 million Ghana cedis you actually took, what did you use it for? And we are still having the same issue again. The $200 million you took from, a garage project. What have you used the money for? The $42 million.
Fair.
What have you used it for? Please.
These questions
please.
are fair.
We should
to
deal with the issue from a very nationalistic point of view. But if you want to have people
nobody's
want
going to politicize
put pressure on this government to do that, it shouldn't be the MPP.
That's fair. That's fair
enough. Give me an opportunity.
I'm going on to the phone lines
highlight
now.
some of the things
NS Frimpong is a chief executive officer of Bedrock Insurance Limited. I mentioned that there were a number of strands we were going to seek to look at in terms of the conversation, particularly also I think we were asking about insurance of the vehicles, and we're being told they are only third party. What about business owners, shops, and what have you, and what the insurance market is going to look like in terms of claims. Mr. Frimpong, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on the 3FM Sunrise.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
I appreciate your patience as well for holding the line, because you joined a while back whilst Abdul was making his submission. But in the aftermath of a natural disaster, if we can call it that, like this, where claims will be coming through and what have you, what is the mechanism which is expected to be put in place by insurance groups, insurance institutions, to help persons recover quickly from the losses they've suffered as a result of the rain?
Yeah, very good morning to you and your listeners. And thank you very much for the question. So basically, we as an insurance industry, basically, we provide insurance for individuals and businesses to be able to cover issues or situations such as this. And therefore, if there is anybody that has an insurance policy, the person would be compensated accordingly, adequately, for them to come back to their feet. In terms of industry response, I believe that the National Insurance Commission, together with the Ghana Insurance Association, and then also the Insurance Brokers Association of Ghana, may be discussing what we as an industry can do. So that one, I may not be able to speak to that. But what I can say is that if there's anybody that has insurance policy, adequately will respond to the loss that has happened.
If anybody has insurance, you're able to respond to it and deal with it frontally. Starting off from the transport operators, right? A lot of them tend to favor third-party insurance, which means all of the vehicles which have been submerged and what have you, they most likely will not get the full cost to get an engine, for instance, or anything. Is there an understanding as to why that plays out a lot within the transport sector? Because now it looks like that choice of an insurance policy is not going to be beneficial to them at this point.
Exactly. And that is what we have been trying to educate the insurance public or the general public about the need to upgrade from just the mandatory third-party motor insurance policy to comprehensive motor insurance policies. Because, like you rightly said, when you have a third-party policy or third-party fire and theft policy, then it would not cover situations such as this for your vehicle. And therefore, those that have comprehensive insurance, they will be able to get some compensation. The reason is simple, that most of the insured do the third party just to fulfill all righteousness, or just to fulfill the mandatory requirements of having insurance before you put the vehicle on the road. They are not looking at the entire risk that they face in terms of using the vehicle or even parking the vehicle. So I think we need to be able to educate ourselves to know that insurance is not just about being able to do the insurance to be able to satisfy the law that you have the insurance, but also being able to have the adequate cover so that in situations like this, then you will be covered. So I think it's just, and then also some of them may be looking at the cost. But if you look at the exposure in terms of what comprehensive insurance covers, such as the flood risk and all the other risks that your vehicle is exposed to, including the theft and fire, then you would be inclined, or you would be advised to then upgrade it and go for comprehensive policy, and not just look at just the third party premium that is much cheaper than the comprehensive.
And I mean, obviously it comes with a bit more cost as well, right? The comprehensive comes at a higher cost. Is there an attempt, right, within the society to begin to work? And I'm not speaking just in relation to vehicles. I'm talking about persons owning small shops and what have you, being able to access insurance products for which reason they can fall on in times like these. That appears to be missing as well. It almost comes off as we don't have Ghana-centered products to meet the sort of trends and demands that we operate. So if it's not a big, large firm, if it's not comprehensive, then we are just trying to, in the case of third party, fulfill all righteousness, like you stated. It's looking like we're seeming to lack what is more reflective policies towards practices in the country.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. We do have enough policies. We have tailor-made policies that are specific to the needs of all clients. People need to contact the insurance agent or insurance brokers, or even insurance companies themselves, and they will be happy to arrange policies that suit their needs. You see, insurance. So, for example, if you look at even the standard fire policy, normally that is what it's extended to cover the flood and other perils or risks. So you have the standard fire policy, covers just the accidental fire outbreak, lightning, and then domestic explosion. But it's extended to cover a number of risks, including flood, that you would have to pay just more to cover the flood option. So you don't need to have all the risk in the world in the policy for you to pay a lot. So just a little bit of premium, you'll be able to have all the risk or the cover that you need. Just have to talk to the insurance company or the broker or agent to explain what is your need, and they'll be able to arrange tailor-made policies at a minimum rate that you'll be surprised that we do cover. So if you look at the exposure that we have, the premiums that we collect as an industry in Ghana is very, very small. And therefore, I will be surprised that I think the people don't know. So they think that it will be expensive. But when you approach a broker, insurance agent, or even insurance company, you would be surprised to know that the premium that you pay for all the risks that you'll be covered is very, very small.
Right. Just quickly on claims, right? Because we've seen what has happened. The claims will be coming in thick and fast. How quickly are you availing yourself to settle these claims so that it doesn't now become a long haul for persons who are already devastated by the floods?
Yes, insurance companies, we are very, very much ready. But you see, we are operating what we call the no premium, no cover regime. So just to be sure that you have paid your premium fully and that you have a valid insurance policy. Now, as insurance companies or the insurance industry, we are ready to be able to pay all the claims that will come to us. We've made adequate reserves, and the money is there to pay claims. So that is not a problem at all. The insured needs to prove the loss event or the damage and the value at loss. So the burden of proof is on the insured to prove to the insurance company that there was a flood or this damage caused by the flood, and then this is the value at loss that I'm claiming. So once they are able to prove that, then there is no problem at all. For vehicles, like we said, once you have a comprehensive motor insurance vehicle, you don't have a problem. You would make the necessary, you would notify your insurance company. You'll be given a claim form to complete, and then you submit all the required documents to the insurance company, and they will be glad to give you the necessary assistance to be able to file the claim, and then within record time pay your claims. As insurance companies, once you report the claim to us, we acknowledge receipt and we give you the claim for within 2 days. And we do the investigation. Once you submit all your documents, within 5 working days, you are supposed to determine liability or not, and then inform you. And then once that is done, then for motor, within 2 days, we'll have to give you discharge voucher. That is the claim amount. And then for non-motor, we would give you the discharge voucher within 3 days. And then once you return the discharge voucher, that is explaining the amount that we want to pay you, and once you accept, then within 5 working days, we'll give you your check or your payment, whichever form you want us to pay. But all things being equal, within 4 weeks, once you submit all the documents in support of your claim, we should be able to pay you the claim within 4 weeks, unless there are other circumstances when the claims is complex. Even that one, we need to explain to you why there is a need for us to go beyond the 4 weeks. But all things being equal, within 4 weeks, you should get your claim.
Final question that's just come through. For you in the insurance industry, what are periods like this like for you? Because it most certainly could be a difficult moment where your offices could be swamped and all of that. How do you find periods like this, just briefly, so I can go on this break?
Yes. So the period like this, or a period like this, goes to demonstrate or show the value or the essence of insurance. So if that is the reason why we exist, and this times like this are why insurance companies are there. So even though we will be inundated with a lot of claims, but that is what we live for. And we are happy at times like this to be able to pay the claims that are needed for people to get back to their feet, for businesses to get back to their feet, so that the economy or the nation can continue on the path of growth and development. So that is why we are there. So even though a lot of claims will be coming, but this is why we are there. And therefore, we are not perturbed by the number of claims that will come to us. Indeed, as insurance companies, we also have reinsurance covers that we do arrange. Because when we get the premiums, we don't keep everything to ourselves as insurance companies. We also share some with what we call reinsurance companies. And at times like this, they also come to support the insurance company to settle all claims that will come. So there's not a problem at all. And we are capable, we have the liquidity and the financial strength to be able to settle all claims that will come out of this flooding situation.
Mr. Frimpong, I appreciate you for joining us. That's Ernest Frimpong. He's the CEO of Bedrock Insurance Limited, joining us this morning as well on the phone lines. I appreciate you and thank you very much. I'm just going to take this quick break, right? It's a final break. And then when I come, I'll pick final thoughts from you so that we can take the show home. This is the 3FM Sunrise. Please stay with us.
When malaria strikes your home, it's
I'm going to pick final thoughts quickly. I'll start with Abdul this time round before I come to Ibrahim. Quickly on, because today we've been talking floods all through. It's a huge thing, and so we've not been able to discuss any other matter because this is the most important thing right now. And so final comments from you, Abdul, in terms of
3FM
action,
92.7.
something that we should see in that regard.
Yes, I think when we're about to go for the break, you gave my brother the opportunity, and then you tried his best to remind us of certain things. That
we don't want to.
Yeah, I think yes, we don't go there. We won't go there. That's just real quick.
Patriotic for once.
All I want to tell him is that whatever has happened in the past is in the past. We are in the present. We are no more living in the past. Let's make sure we deal with this issue once and for all. Let's have a broader stakeholder engagement. Let's engage all relevant bodies and make sure the relevant institutions that are mandated, that are legally given the mandate to make sure we deal with these issues, making sure people do not build at waterlands, do not build in waterways, making sure that people who dump refuse in gutters, like he rightly said, there's a woman in this area, report them to the rightful authorities so that a strong precedent to be set, that tomorrow, if I get up from the comfort of my home and go and dump refuse into the gutter, there are severe punishment that I'm going to face. Absolutely. We have sanitation laws. Let's enforce them. This is the time. This is the time. Just because of political favor and vote, we've refused to make sure we deal with some of these issues. Whatever we are talking about, they are laid down legal laws and rules to deal with them. The only thing we have to do is the political will and the commitment of this government to make sure they enforce whatsoever laws that have been set to make sure we handle and then deal with this issue. And as the president promised us to make sure he deal with the flood issues when he was in opposition, when you look at their manifesto, it shouldn't just be a pie in the sky. They should make sure they execute it. That's all we have for them.
Right, that's Achulo Abdul Baki. He's a member of the NPP's communications team. Ibrahim, I'll come to you. Quick final thoughts as well.
Okay, Abdul, I will listen. I think I agree with you. You messed up. So what is in the past is in the past. Let's look at the present. This is not politics.
If you say he messes up, I mean, then he'll be forced to. But you proceed, proceed so that
present.
Proceed so that we can.
President Mahama is taking drastic measures to deal with the issue. We are barely 2 years in office. And so I believe that the steps we have taken so far will yield results. But in the coming days, if these steps, no significant progress is being made, I'm sure the president will review further steps and ensure that the right thing is done. For example, the president established an anti-flood task force. We'll look at the work they have done so far, whether it's contributing enough in dealing with this issue, as to whether to sustain or to just, annul, they will know what to do. We also look at ways of dealing with the district assemblies and ensuring accountability in all the municipal. President Mahama has already directed. I mean, we will have to make a follow-up and ensure that they are on track. If they are not, we'll look at means and ways to punish some people, put some out and bring the new ones who love Mother Ghana and are patriotic, so that together we can all be safe as a country.
Absolutely. That's Ibrahim Ali as well. He's a member of the NDC's communications team. Patrice is still in studio with me. I'm sure we'll be back here tomorrow. We'll talk about this again as well. But just quick final words from you as well as we. Then I do birthdays and then.
Oh, okay. So for this,
a number of birthdays have come.
I don't believe Mr. President is willing and ready to crack the whip. Otherwise, he would have made that statement. I don't believe in what the Minister of Local Government decided to put up a few days ago, weeks ago, when he was instructing people who is responsible for his responsibility. You don't need to ask all these things. You have reports right in front of you, and you know what to do. I think this thing goes to tell us that municipal assemblies, district assemblies, they are all weak. They are all weak, and perhaps they are being headed by weak people. Because if the assembly is not weak, you would not see people living close by storm drains, people living close by gutters, people living close by water bodies, and they are within 20 meters, 10 meters, 50 meters. It has to be 100 meters. Now, ECG, who supplies these people with power? You see ECG poles there, as we can see on the screen right now. So who extended the poles to these people? Because you can see clearly that they are squatters. Who did that? Who gives them water? Ghana Water Company. So we talk about all these things.
I'm not sure this place Ghana Water reaches.
Well, they will you'll be shocked.
Because there are communities who don't have Ghana Water extension. Then
my warning to people out there is that be mindful where you buy food outside. If you're buying food for the restaurants or chop bars or anything, know where you're going to buy food, because this is the time that there could be a potential cholera outbreak, because you don't know where these people get their water or source their water from to prepare the foods that they're preparing. You don't know what water has contaminated somebody's foodstuffs. So when you're going to buy food, be careful where you go.
Thank you, Patrice. Birthdays quickly.